Cancer has dominated Lynn's life for the last 7 years.
You get CT scans, you've got MRI scans, you've got blood tests, seeing the doctor, you've got all these other tests and things, and it does feel at the very beginning that every day there was another appointment coming through. It's exhausting, physically and mentally. You're just waiting and waiting and waiting.
She's spent a lot of time away from her beloved cat Sunny getting chemotherapy and blood tests in hospital, something she's always found stressful.
I don't like needles, I don't like having bloods taken. You can be waiting 2 hours for the results if the analyzers break or something goes wrong. It can be 3-4 hours before you get your results for the blood tests. Sitting in that blood room, getting more and more anxious, getting hotter and hotter. By the time I would go into the chair, I would probably, I do faint.
But Lynn has recently had access to a tech solution that she says has made a huge difference to her life.
When I did the training session, it was so simple to follow and to use.
This is Liberty, a device which allows Lynn to do a quick finger prick at home instead of a full blood test at the hospital.
You can do it the day before you have your treatment or the day before you go and see your consultant when you want to do it. You've got that little bit of control over your treatment and your time. I can do my blood test and I can go and do something else whilst it's being analysed. And the one thing that I did like about it as well, I didn't have to keep going and being reminded that I had the cancer.
The kit has been designed by health tech company Entia and is the world's first remote patient monitoring solution for people undergoing cancer treatment. The Liberty has just had regulatory approval and is in the early stages of being rolled out to various hospitals. Here at the Christie in Manchester, they were one of the first places to try out the tech. Absolutely packed, an all too familiar sight in a hospital waiting room.
If you could do the test at home, you'd be far more relaxed. You wouldn't be worried about the appointment times, the waiting rooms, particularly if you're feeling ill and tired, and it's just a worry for you, another anxiety whilst you're going through your treatment.
What would it mean if you could do this process at home using...
It'd be amazing. You wouldn't have to get childcare and you wouldn't have to worry. And you're more comfortable at home, aren't you? You've got your own comforts. Coming here can be quite scary sometimes.
And reducing patients coming through the doors was one of the reasons this hospital took a punt on the tech.
What we've done recently at the Christie is actually positioned phlebotomy units around the region. So we now have 10 or 12 units around the region, what we call bloods closer to home. And so the patients can book in themselves to have their blood tests, but it still means we have to staff those units in order for the patients to be able to have the blood tests. If the patients were able to simply get those blood tests done or do them themselves at home, that would result in significant efficiencies. And that's really important. We're not trying to distance ourselves from patients, we're trying to make their lives easier.
And during the clinical trial, the medical teams found that the blood testing at home was just as good as in the lab.
And then the next thing, of course, is how acceptable is doing the bloods at home to the patients. And I'm very pleased to say that it's a highly acceptable approach to the patients that we've tested this in.
They also found it easy to use. The results from the devices are easy to read.
I can see the white blood cells, the neutrophils, the haemoglobin and the platelets all on the screen.
And it meant a lot less of this, giving blood, which many patients find particularly difficult. So what is the ambition for this bit of tech?
So now that we've got regulatory approval, we're really actively engaged with many NHS centres across the country and really looking at new clinical use cases that this solution can actually be applied to.
But it's not too onerous for them, is it?
Yeah, so everything that we've done at Entia has been designed to offer patients a very simple journey. I mean, we are not trying to medicalise patients further. We're really trying to take them out of a hospital setting, placing them back in the community, in their homes, in a place that they really want to be, and to provide them then with tools that are very simple and intuitive to use.
So it looks like there will be more patients like Lynn who will get the chance to access their Liberty. But given the volume of cancer patients across the country, mass adoption is still a long way off.
I just fell in love with the machine, to be really honest with you, because it gave me a little bit of control back as well.